China's 15th five-year plan, which is going to be in operation since the March of this year after the National People's Congress rectified it. And I believe through my presentation, you can see that we have a lot of opportunities that we could cooperate with each other.
Okay, let's dig into those opportunities. One of the focuses in that five-year plan is quality high tech, next generation technology. What opportunities and where do you see crossovers with what the UAE is planning, particularly in the fields of AI?
Yeah, for instance, and absolutely we could have a kind of a joint research, of course, as some of our Emirati friends also mentioned that we could have cooperations in terms of education and research. And definitely we could work together in some research in the technology innovation. And what I actually, in particular, I believe, China had a strong research and innovation ability in China. We got so many laboratories to do the technological innovation. But in the UAE, particularly in Dubai, we have a large and huge space for technology application. So I think that is a very good match that we could do together. And we strongly believe when you try to do some technology innovation, you need to apply it. If you just put it in the closet, it means nothing for the people. So we need to apply the technology innovation to the people's life. And that's why I believe that we could have a lot of cooperation in this area.
How far could that cooperation go? I mean, negotiations are ongoing at the moment for a free trade agreement between China and the Gulf. We've got a long-standing cooperation framework between the UAE and China. Is there any possibility, are there any talks about a CEPA between China and the UAE, a comprehensive economic partnership agreement?
And I think we are working together for China GCC FTA. And I think it's in the final stage, and we need to work on that as well. I believe from that China GCC FTA, all the countries from GCC countries can benefit from that.
The five-year plan has a focus on what's being called high-level opening up. You've been speaking today about potential free zone cooperation. Obviously, 2025, almost the word of the year was tariffs. How have US tariffs changed or deepened the trade and the re-export relationship with the UAE? And where do you see that free zone, that tariff-free cooperation going forward?
As I mentioned, the free zone area cooperation, since we are, in Hainan, the whole province is going to be developed into the largest free zone, a free trade port. And it is in full cooperation actually since last month. It's December 18th of 2025. And it will last for some time for accomplish that totally free trade zone construction. And now in Hainan, there are 11 free trade zones for different areas are now in operation. And I believe in this area, China and UAE, particularly Hainan and Dubai, could have a lot to cooperate with each other. Dubai set a very good example for all those free trade zones development. I believe we could learn a lot from Dubai as well. And when you were talking about the tariffs I mean, this is both UAE and China, we benefit a lot from this free trade and open economy. And I believe that globalization and free trade and multilateralism is still the main strength of the whole world and people working together. And because we all benefit from that, and we can't imagine we could isolate ourselves again. And on one hand, we isolate ourselves. On the other hand, we can develop ourselves. That's impossible. So we need to work together. And I strongly believe openness, inclusiveness, and free trade and multilateralism will work in the world.
Well, when we are talking about that free trade in the US, obviously, we have the situation in Venezuela, talk about moving US oil producers in, continuing a blockade of oil exports. and China takes a lot of Venezuelan oil. What could that mean for China's energy relationship with the Gulf, with Saudi and the UAE? Could we see you buying more crude from here?
I cannot say for exactly what we are going to do, but to see where cooperation in this area, we had long history. And I believe because in China and all those UAE and including regional countries, we have very good and friendly relationship and cooperation in this area. I believe we're going to continue to cooperate with each other.
The UAE population in general has seen massive growth in the last 4 years. What have we seen happen to the Chinese population here?
A good question. Chinese population actually is growing in the UAE. And we now have a Chinese community with the population around 300,000 Chinese, overseas Chinese, living and working here in the UAE. And they enjoy here. They enjoy their working here and living here in the UAE. And they're doing quite well, I should say. And people are not from, some of them are from working for the Chinese companies as well. And some of them are just living here, running their own business. And according to the information from Ministry of Economy of the UAE government, that the Chinese companies registered in UAE has already exceeded 16,000. So this is a quite good number. It grows very fast as well, comparing with the previous year. So that indicates that the economic activities of the Chinese communities are very active and dynamic. And I believe they will contribute a lot to the relations between the two countries as well.
What does that mean for education? For partnerships with UAE universities, but also for Chinese educational institutions moving into the UAE? What are the talks, the possibilities?
Oh, yes. And so far as I know, that there's not a large number of UAE students in China, probably around 200. That was not too many. But the Chinese students in UAE is comparing with other countries might not be that large, around maybe 1,000, but it grows very fast.
Well, let's finish off talking about Chinese New Year. It is just around the corner. What could it mean for Chinese visitors into the UAE, and what will we see here?
Well, in the Chinese New Year, for this year, we will have 9 days of public holidays for Chinese New Year. That means there will be more Chinese visitors coming over to the UAE.